Hello, hello. It's Michelle Wilson with Ignite Your Essence. And today we have an amazing show. We are streaming live on the Los Angeles Tribune Network, across the social media platforms, and then we are also on Roku. And today our topic is the art of positioning and connection. And I have a very special guest, Ashkan Tabibnia. And before I introduce him, let's learn a little bit more about Ashkan.
Ashkan Tabibnia, strategist, realist, visionary. Ashkan started his journey when he was 18 years old as the CEO and founder of Seven Elephants, importer and distributor of high-tech consumer electronics. Within a few years, his business grew to over 50 employees, $15 million in annual sales, and a 40,000 square foot warehouse. Through the years, he mastered key interpersonal skills of being genuinely likable, a rock-hard work ethic, and the power of his convictions. A lifelong dream of his was to develop a social platform where he could share ideas and business strategies with great minds and visionaries. So he birthed the Higher Connection Network in February 12, 2009. HCN has helped hundreds of individuals and businesses to find their niche and help to turn their dreams into reality. Ashkan leadership and the culmination of past experiences are brought forward in Alpha Consult and his newly formed 90210 network, which is refined and optimized organization that borrowed the best learned lessons from his past experiences. Has helped others to focus on personal and professional development and contributes his solid base of contacts within the personal development, entertainment, and event production world. Now our guest on Ignite Your Essence talk show, Ashkan Tabibnia. Welcome.
Welcome, Ashkan. I am so honored and it's a privilege to have you today. And I just want to thank you for joining us on Ignite Your Essence. So, welcome.
It's actually, I have to say thank you, Michelle, for being an amazing light in my life for sure. The topic is like, it's so amazing how, connections and of course positioning. But I just want to say thank you. I want to say thank you to your team with the Ignite. They have treated me like a VIP from the get-go. It has been a perfect 10. We don't do 5 stars, we do perfect 10s here in everything that they have done in the quality, in the visuals and preparations and sending me reminders. I have never been treated this way before from any media. And I also want to for sure thank Los Angeles Tribune, Mo, and all the team there. A big thanks to everyone. So excited to be here and having a conversation with my dear friend, Michelle.
Thank you so much. And before we jump into our topic, yes, I just want to thank our team at Ignite Your Essence and definitely the Los Angeles Tribune. And, our topic is about the art of connection and positioning. But I want to share a quick story about how me and Ashkan met because it actually was through the art of connection. I remember we were at a meet and greet in Hollywood at a nice little restaurant. And I was sitting down and Ashkan sat right next to me. And he asked me my name. And then he's like, so what do you do, Michelle? But before I could answer, he's like, no, wait. And he said, are you a business coach and consultant? And I was like, wow, yes. So how did you do that? You have this connection with people that's amazing. So I just wanted to go back. We talked about earlier in the introduction that you were 18 years old when you started your first company. So I want you to take us back a little bit, like, when you were 18, when you started your company, and how did you develop this art of connection and actually really connecting with people and understanding who their essence is?
I remember that like was like yesterday. I remember the seat, and when I saw you, just to answer your question properly, um, when you meet people such as yourself, and you see that they have a certain glow, they're happy, right? They have a smile. What that does, it gives you already a sign that you want to go to that person that is friendly and agreeable such as yourself. I wanted you to sit next to me because growing up, having wonderful parents like my mom and my father, which are not with us anymore, they really taught me that people are not numbers. You always have to treat people as you want to be treated yourself, even better than yourself. Like how to be of service. So early on, my parents were my teachers how uh, to kind of imbue that in me, right? And moreover, by example, right? My father was blind, born blind and passed blind, but he was a Sufi master. And what we would do for years, because he couldn't see, he would sit me down, like I was like 12, 10, 8, 14, and even in my 30s, 20s. We would sit together and I would close my eyes, right? So I could see what he sees, right? And then when you do that for years, you develop like anything else, intuition, and your sixth sense, broadens and gets stronger. That's why lots of people who do meditation, early morning yoga, these are all people who actually know themselves. Because when you go down to yourself and start understanding yourself, it's not just your sixth sense. There's such a quiet there, and there's nothing but yourself, and that starts to develop into thoughts, and then you take those thoughts and you make them into reality. Uh, just to answer your question, these are some of the dynamics. What makes me? It's not like it's like a special. I'm not like a hand reader. As people come to you, you look at them, as they are, and if especially if they are coming to a network setting or they're coming to for a cause, and depends where they are. If they are there and they're happy and they're positive and their face is actually say, talk to me, you know, and they're very open and receptive.
Wow, I really love that. You're saying it's just having that connection with people and a smile, a simple smile. So we are talking about the art of connection and positioning. Can you just kind of explain to us a little bit more what that actually means? I know you talked about, your sixth sense. I loved how you said and you were able to develop that at a young age. But what does that have to do like with business or someone who wants to, like you said, has an organization that wants to grow? Can you tell us a little bit more what that really means?
Yeah, the reason that I wanted to start with connections, because at the end of the day, as soon as we are born and we learn how to connect, the first thing to our mom, right? We make noises, and as we develop into toddler and youth and then early teens, it's very important to learn how to connect to yourself, right? To your family, to your core business colleagues, right? And when you go generally out into public, if you do networking events or what say you, and if you are a social person, it would be a plus. And if you are, and if you are an introvert, this is a skill that if you in this time and age with all the social platforms going on, it's something that you have to develop. And uh, again, connection is nothing but communication, right? Using your heart and not your mind. Because when you use your heart and talk to people, they can see your heart cannot make a mistake. It's impossible. That's why you always say, "My heart tells me," you know. And you also, when you go to my mind can make a mistake. And then to bring that into positioning, when you are clear how to connect, where to connect, who to connect, and sometimes connection is just being with somebody. It's just total quiet. There's silence, and that is also a form of connection. So there's many variations of connections that we're going to get into a little bit later. But you asked that big question, the art of position. When people come to me, we have influencers, we have business gurus, we have C levels, we have entrepreneurs, we have in entertainment business. What happens is when somebody comes to you guys, if you guys are a coach, what you have to understand that before you do anything with them, you have to put time, and usually this should be a time that shouldn't be paid. it's discovery. If you want to help somebody, first you have to get to know them, get to know who they are, about their parents. Ask certain questions like the colors, numbers, their theme song, their favorite book, their favorite quote, their favorite inspirational or financial, gurus. When you do that, that already gives you an edge. And then you have to ask about, is the business or product or the service themselves, because people miss that. There's a lot of people who are a owner of a company, which is fine, right? And then there's company. So there's two entities. There's the person and there's the company, or there's the entity, or there's the corporation. When that is clear, there's a way that you handle them and there's a way you handle the corporation, right? But sometimes in our business, people are the service, people are the product, you know? So when that happens, you have to take an inventory, right? Of first of all, their social footprint, Facebook, LinkedIn, if they are younger, Instagram, TikTok, how many people they have. You write it down, it's like inventory. And then you ask the other question, how many connections do you have, on your telephone? You write that down, how many business cards you have. When you get all that, then you have to also ask them about how they promote, market. Sometimes there's too much marketing, right? And sometimes there's not enough marketing. When you know all that, as a strategist, as a business coach, as a personal coach, then your job comes to kind of, with respect to their core team and partners and people they work with, to see which areas, they could, make better by, changing some habits, or offering them very easy solutions, such as an app. Process is very important. Sometimes people get really caught by process and minutia. It's very important these days. With, oh my God, as soon as we open up our telephone, there's like 30, messages from Facebook, from this, from that. So it's very important to keep everything for people simple and clear. And when you have the answer to kind of who they are, what are about right now, what are their services, what are their goals, their company goals, and some of the other questions, then it's important how to position them. The way to position them, some people actually, instead of being positioned into mass media, they might not have enough time to answer everyone, or interact with everyone. And that's going to kind of take away from their power. So sometimes actually no marketing or inverse marketing is the answer. Sometimes you have to take somebody like yourself, Michelle, that you've been around, a momopreneur queen and a business coach, author, host. Sometimes we don't have to do anything to you. We just have to take you and put you in a very special demographic network that, let's say there are amazing moms out there. And as soon as we place you there, you are at your essence, you ignite, right? Like the show, and you start delivering immediately. And that's, for you, becomes a maximum ROI. Imagine if you take you and put you in a, I don't know, let's say I have a friend that is actually in 30s, has a Instagram, he has 250,000, and this is private by account, by the way. And sometimes I ask, can you, post my friend? And he does, we put you there, and imagine now you might have 1,000 inquiry of, people coming and asking questions with responsibility that you have, right? With how you're handling your family and your business, there is not enough time for you to handle all those people coming to be filtered. So the best thing for a person like yourself would be to position you in networks like Los Angeles Tribune and channels that will enhance you without changing your culture, your philosophy. That would be a perfect positioning for you, let's say. That's just as an example.
That's a great example. Now, you just shared so much golden nuggets that I just want to unpack and go back. So the first thing we talked about, connection, and really connection is the art of communication, right? And I'm just curious, you talked about your father, who was a Sufi master. Would you say you learned that from that, experience when you were young about really learning how to communicate? Because I know you said your father was blind, and so you had to
Yes.
develop that sixth sense. And so, would that be a skill that you developed at a very young age?
Uh, uh, yes, that was part of it. Okay, that was part of it for sure too, because it allowed me organically to strengthen my intuition and my sixth sense. And again, we always have to be learning. But communication, it's not a big word. It's a how do you communicate? And again, it's you have to always read books. I know we read books about certain topics, but we forget to read books about a very simple way of communicating. And for sure, I do recommend Four Agreements from Don Miguel Ruiz. I have read that book probably 3 or 4 times. It's short. It has four agreements. One of them, it's be impeccable with your words and do not ever think or assume people understand you. Well, you don't have to talk fast. You can talk short, but you can communicate. And then it's not just communicate, because communication is two ways.
Yes.
If you're on the phone, it's going to be harder. But if you're talking to people on the, Zoom or in person, when you communicate it's something very important for the first time, you have to look at them, make sure they got it, right? And when you see like they go, ah, or
Yeah.
they go, or you see their like the posture or the body language, right?
Yeah, I always say that communication is
Yeah,
not what you say, but it's how they interpret what they understand. So
and
you
they
got to check
communicate
in
back.
with them. Right. They
Right?
got to communicate back
It
with you.
depends. Sometimes you just have, like today, you're just having a very casual, comfortable conversation. Sometimes, if you are educating, right? If you are giving out a certain, value, or, it's very important to communicate effectively, right? And also uh, making sure you are a very good listener after you have given the information, to your client or to your peers or to somebody just hired. Then you cannot rush it. You have to wait and let them speak. And if they're not speak, if they don't, if it didn't start conversation with you, you have to get them into, so what do you think about the idea I gave you, or what do you think about that example? You kind of trigger them to have a conversation with you. That's like a yin yang, right? So yin is you converse, and then yang would be, wow, they got it. Again, it's not all the time. We have communications all day. Do we control everything? No. Sometimes, it's not needed to be conscious at all. You just have to be yourself and be conscious that I am here and everything will happen. But some other times, again, in the beginning of when you're at a networking event, if you are talking for important new, let's say, rule in your organization, you're talking to your top executives, it's very important to slow down, like a breath. You take a breath in, you take a breath out. Everyone tells me, oh, yes, but you can rush. I said, no, you cannot. You cannot breathe in and out at the same time. You have to take, even if you do fast, you do one breath in, you have to do one breath out. And life is like that. You have to allow people to see if they have understood your
Mm.
point, your message, your presentation, or whatever that is. And when you know they got it, and sometimes again, you are the one have to engage them, not them. If they're just looking at you like that, it could be they're shy. You got to ask them, so what do you think about this point? What do you think about that thought? Oh, how about that? What do you suggest? Do you have anything to add? Or you need to engage people. And again, we are trying to kind of go around art of connection, which is and positioning, that really you like honed it in. It's really the conversations, because if they're not, whether it's conversation through your your dialogue, or to your body language, or to your feelings, these are the dynamics that will make a relationship a good relationship, a better relationship, or an excellent relationship. I'm going to emphasize the way you have a dialogue, right? We can read the four agreements. The way you make people feel, especially for the first time, right? Body language, right? And of course, you said it best in the beginning. that big smile. So when you take these couple of ideas and you kind of bring it into your connections, start today. I will each of you today put it in your mind. Say, you know what? I want to have a conscious conversation with my core 10. Core
Mm.
10 usually are, people at home, your husband, your wife, your children, and your couple of partners. When I say core 10, usually that 10 take care of the main people in your life. And try instead of next time talking to them, be conscious and communicate with them, and just allow them to converse back, and try, instead of worrying about what the end goal going to be, enjoy the process, enjoy the moment of communication. Believe me, it's going to be very nice.
Phenomenal. And I love what you said, conscious communications, be present with that family member, with that colleague. And actually, I was having a conversation with someone that I recently introduced you to. And we talked about positioning, and you said, give of your time. And she was just raving because you love giving strategies sessions. And she said a few weeks ago, she spent about 3 hours with you. And she's like, Ashkan has the purest heart because he just poured into me. And so that is a great example to me about, not only connecting, but just giving of your time, because you sat there and really listened to her story, what she was up to. And then you were able to just, work with her for like 3 hours. And she said, you've transformed her life. So tell me a little bit about just your strategy sessions that you do. Cause I've sat on a few of them, and I get so amazed, like how you're able to connect, and then you're just talking about what a person already has going for them and how they can position it so they could take their business or even their personal life to the next level. So tell me a little bit about your strategy sessions, because they're so special.
That's what makes you the M host. I call you M for, O should be worried, right? No, we love everyone, right? And the way you have actually positioned this conversation today is so beautiful, that we have to start from learning how to communicate effectively, of course, right? And then taking that, how to connect to others, whether it's family or business peers or at a network or social setting. And after that, how do we position? I tell you, you're such a good positioner yourself. Okay, to answer you that question, um, when you meet uh, certain people,
Hmm.
people are not numbers. I know we are in business, our time is our value, and we get paid for our time. At the same time, we all there to help people. And I know we have our calendly half an hour, 2 hour, but what happens is people really are getting away from a normal way of just being and communicating and enjoying interactions. So when we're not going to talk about the name, but the person you're talking about, when I met her presence was like immediately like yours. I was just for a minute, and that was at a network setting. We had about 150 people. For a second, I was beyond myself because her presence, her energy, her smile, she had this piercing, fiery eyes. And then I was intrigued as she was to spend that time with her. And when we spent the time, for this gentleman, again, I didn't need to do anything. She had the most amazing packages, courses. Um, oh my God! I usually, when people know how to do that themselves, create content for themselves. She was at 8 and 9, very high level. With her, the only thing I had to do, I had to position her actually towards serenity, simplicity, and clarity. What we call a sabbatical, just sabbatical. Not just Jewish people can take sabbatical every week for 27 hours. We do that. We give people, this cell phone here, this is amazing. But do me a favor. I do this all the time. Can you take one day off, and this is one of the techniques we use with her, say, give this to your wonderful husband, and there is no phone for 24 hours. And I position her because she was there, just to service others. Everything she thought about, all the programs that she had special programs, unique programs, tailored programs for her cause, for her family. She was honestly a guru when it came to coaching and programs and everything. But what was lacking was herself. I wanted to make sure to put her in front of a mirror and say, listen, it's time to put you in the focus, and not for a day. I mean, she took a week, and it's okay. Your packages are amazing. They're all out there. If people really want you, they can come to your house, knock on the door, and get you, or call you from your husband's phone. Take the time, because you have given so much to everyone. It's now time to kind of position yourself, and kind of whatever you did to others is called me time. You need to baby yourself. You have to take care of yourself. And when you do that, again, she did not need me to give her ideas, creative ideas, or strategy. She was a perfect guru herself. But I was just there to tell her that you're such a mother yourself. And honestly, after a week or two that we talked, just the simplicity of that positioning was fabulous, and she's very happy with that. Just to
I've
give you an example.
experienced
Just to
that
give you an
too.
example.
I remember you put me on sabbatical once because we were working on a project. So I've experienced the sabbatical, and it is totally amazing just to take some time off for ourselves because, as you says, as givers, people who are of service love to give, and sometimes we forget. And we were talking about that yesterday, actually, Michelle and Dr. Natalie was talking about that yesterday about the self love. So yes, I love that. It's just those little simple things that we forget about, but are so huge and transforming not only in our businesses but in our personal lives. So thank you so much for that. And now I want to, we're going to I want to learn a little bit more about 90210 network. But before we do that, I really want to go and talk about the Los Angeles Tribune, who is hosting us today here at Ignite Your Essence. And we just want to learn a little bit more about the Los Angeles Tribune.
Hello and welcome to the Los Angeles Tribune. Since 1886, our name has been a part of the world of journalism. We have earned a reputation for being a publication that practices integrity, authenticity, and responsibility. For general inquiries, contact today. Thank you on behalf of the Los Angeles Tribune team.
Thank you. And we are back with Ashkan. So Ashkan, yes, go ahead.
I did want to interject. Because again, the topic that we have today, communication. We added communication, by the way, just so you know. You're so good. And connection and positioning. These are broad subjects, okay. And for every person, they perceive that differently because some people, there's 5 level of, language, right? There's body language. Some people they hear. So it's. But in order to put it in perspective, Rock, okay, has taken, I give a good example that everyone can connect here, has taken a publication from 1860 that they were shelving, took that and not only brought it back, right? He added, visual art, media to it. So now he positioned all his friends, such as myself, yourself, of course, with Natalie together for the past 2 years, because he had a clear vision of taking the brand Los Angeles Tribune, remember from 1860, and brought it into media and made it a global platform for entrepreneurs, for VCs, for people like yourself to have a voice. He positioned every single person. And what did he do to make sure it's not just position? Because when you position somebody, you have to position them for who they are, right? Their respect to their culture and background and demographic, and where is it they're going, right? You position them so they can reach their destination and go, right? And he, oh my God, when was it 2 months ago? When he brought the whole world empowerment, Les Brown, Brian Tracy, Vitale, Mr. Vitale, and everyone, Bob Proctor, together, he took again. So he took a brand, brought it back, added global media to it, right? And then he shared it with all of his friends and family and colleagues, and then he led all his friends and families to bring all their people. And he didn't have I don't want to call it a finale, but he had a crescendo and a climax end of the year with the world most powerful people for 4 days. For 4 days. That would be a great example, how you connect, you communicate, you position for people for vertical, I call it vertical success. So there you go.
Thank you. And you're so right. And, it's and I'm going to go ahead and go into the question. We have a big question that we're going to ask. I think this is an appropriate time about the big question because we talked about, positioning and we talked about connection. Because I know for myself, it was through your connection we met at that restaurant, right? And then you connected me with Mo Brock in the Los Angeles Tribune. And now we're on a show with Ignite Your Essence. So it's through that connection and that touching with the heart, because we all are heart centered. And what I love about the Los Angeles Tribune is like we're all collectively, because we believe in positive, good media that we want to bring out. So I think this is a great time for that question. If we can bring it up to ask our guest. So this is a question we love to ask. It's from Buckminster Fuller. And that's, how do we make the world work for 100% of humanity in the shortest possible time through spontaneous cooperation without illogical damage or disadvantage to anyone? So, basically, Ashkan, how can we make the world a better place, humanity a better place, in what we are doing in our everyday lives and businesses?
This has two folds. All the leaders that are entrepreneurs are very serious. Something that they forget, half of the world, they work for others, or they work and they don't have time to think about these empowering questions. So the first thing that we need to do is ask ourselves in a mirror, have a mirror conversation that comes from our friend Chantel, and ask ourselves this question that simply doesn't matter, we are 30, 40, 20, 50, 60, 70. What am I good at? My skill and talent, top three, okay? You need to know those top three. When you know that, then the second question would be, am I, or what am I doing, my business is allowing me for these three, one main one and two more talent to shine through? Because that's my gift to give to others. And if the answer is yes, it's amazing. It's not, then you make a plan to make it, right? And then after you know exactly at the moment, because I might have been a very good pianist maybe when I was 15, or I was a black belt Aikido when I was in 20 or 30, right? But the question is now, because it's not Ashkan, it's Ashkan with all the different experiences, all the different endeavors, up and downs that made me who today. And only when you know the answer to, what is your mission now, what you are good at, what is your talent, your skill now, then you ask the bigger question. How can I take this talent or God-given talent and skill and help the world, humanity, with my part? And that question will trigger the how. Sometimes because you're a gifted speaker, right? Then you have a message. You're going to use the power of your speech. And then it's important to connect with the right media like Los Angeles Tribune, so you can take your message or the message of your friend across. Or you might be a great author. So then you have to write a book about your talent, God-given talent. And then it's not just writing a book. Some people write a book. It's important to bring it to some of our friends like David Fagan and let them to take your book and then take it out to masses. So big question you ask. How can we help humanity? Starts by ourselves. We have to know what is our God-given talent and skills, and we have to know how to take that to the world, because sometimes we don't have to worry about helping thousands or millions. Sometimes it's somebody next to us, our close partner, our children, our spouse, or our best friends, because that's where they're closest to us. Again, if you are in a business of transformation, helping, coaching, you help them because says in Talmud, right?
Mm-hmm.
In Jewish Talmud, that if you save one person's life,
Wow.
one person. Again, remember, we are limited. I know we are one, but we also are one. We are one. When we help one person fully,
Yes.
it's like, I didn't say, Talmud says you save one person, you have saved the whole world. So it's funny. It's kind of like yin yang. You can help everyone by helping one, and but for sure, you can help lots of people. I love social media because let me ask you a question, Michelle. I
Yes.
become the host just to get, because this is a very big question, and I want people to have kind of different layers of looking at it. From themselves, from their family, maybe themselves. Their friends, their community, and their world. If I ask you a question, 1 to 10, what is your perfect number today?
7.
Perfect. 7 is amazing, right? Seven
I
on the
love
weeks is a good number. You know, you have to make sure, because you are a powerful, powerful speaker, host, trainer, you have to make sure that every month, and this is not your family, who are your 7 in your business, Momopreneur Universe, that gonna be shoulder with shoulder, take your message out. You have to make sure those 7 people are, in line with you. And this is like, you have 80% not control. You have 80% chance to collaborate with them at the highest level, because they are giving you that privilege. These people, doesn't matter you hire them or doesn't matter you're collaborating with them. Anybody giving you their time.
Yes.
There's nothing replaceable for that. So
No.
you make sure. So that's the second level is your 70 and 700, third, 7,000. I know you, how you do it, I don't know. Use very good techniques. You have reach, in-person reach, weekly, monthly, yearly, to your fourth level of 7,000 people. Closest 70s. Now, these are the people you have to worry about, because you can give them, you can have the maximum effect, transformation to them. That's your universe. That's what matters. You're the sun, and they're the closest planets to you. Now, then we use, right, from that big question, how do we then help humanity? Then you use social media, Facebook, Instagram, or whatever else, LinkedIn, and you can reach. Your fifth level is 70,000. Your sixth is 700,000. Your seventh circle is 7 million, and then of course 8, 9. With using social media and email services, you can reach many, many millions and billions. But the difference is, it's going to be very objective. They're not going to know you. They're just going to see you on a video. So you have that chance. So you have to be very careful how you want to change the world. You
I
want to
love.
change it? Yes.
I know. I just love that. It reminds me of the perception effect, where, like you said, saving one life or helping just one person, it's a ripple effect. And that's what we're here at Ignite Your Essence. In the beginning, we have this diamond that just talks about the ripple effect. It just really starts with one. And then I love what you said, okay, if I intentionally, going back to consciousness, right? Look at 7 people in my network that I want to collaborate, has the same value system. And that's what it sounds like you're telling me, to really connect with those 7 people. And it could be any number, but it's really starting off with that one, then it multiplies to the next and the next and the next. So I really want to thank you for all the valuable information you're sharing with us. And I just want to kind of pivot a little bit and talk a little bit more about your new business venture. I know you were very successful at the age of 18. I mean, you had 50 employees, and I know it was an import export business, and you did very well. And now you are moving into 90210 network. So tell us a little bit more about that, or just, I really want
Great
to know, like, the
question.
journey. Actually, tell me a little bit about the
Great,
journey.
great question.
Yeah.
I was lucky to start my business at age of 18, which was 7 Elephants was the name. We had a partner that he was 80 years old. I was 18, and my other partner was 35. Imagine the range. So, we decided it has to, I don't know, he said, he was like my grandfather, actually, Mr. Morobati. He said the name has to be 7 Elephants. Oh, okay, 7 Elephants. Fine. That was just no reason. And we started 1994, and we had that for 18 years. And we did merchandising, so I had a chance to learn firsthand anything and everything about tangible goods. We used to have 700 SKUs, merchandise in way of electronics, gadgets, clothing. So I learned everything from the best: marketing, merchandising, forecasting, um, goal setting, and the way we had employees, we didn't call them employees, we call them family. When we ended the business in 2000, I think it was 9, was it? All the employees, they were part of our family. We rarely fired anyone. And the people who were with us, they were from the get-go. They were 18 years with us, or 10 years, or whenever they came, they were with us. The reason that I wanted to experience something else, tangible merchandise was amazing. Having a warehouse, right now Amazon is doing great, but it wasn't for me. I wanted to kind of learn the art of service and non-tangible goods. That's programs, helping people, all the stuff that we do, coaching. These are all part of service. And for the past, I want to say 10 years, so after Seven Elephants, I was very lucky to be around, I want to say, thousands of mentors and VCs to learn from, to work with. We did an expo called Ascend Expo at the Los Angeles Convention Center. That became the biggest conscious expo in US history. I had the privilege of doing an event with the late Ryan Long, God bless him. I co-produced, he did most of the work. I co-produced the event for Sir Richard Branson. We had speakers training, world-class speakers training with the famous Gene McNaughton, which is Tony Robbins' partner. And I in the past 10 years, I didn't limit myself. I wanted to learn and see firsthand about many different levels of service, exactly connections, networking, communication, programs, process, goals, etc. And now that I had the privilege of doing that, experiencing that in many layers, I said, okay, the big question: how do I take first part of my life, which was, Seven Elephants, everything that I learned, in a very controlled, capsulated business. Everything we did was calculated, by the way, hours, the money, everything. And combining that with complete reverse, because when you do service, you do networking, it's like an ocean. You cannot capsulate it. You can say this is my program, but it's endless. After that, I'm ready now to take that experience from the tangible goods, and then my experience of the past 10 years from non-tangible, and with all the different thousands of networking events, productions, programs, master life plannings that we have done. I want to make it something easy. And again, remember, auto positioning. So I go to my head, I want a name. So I thought, 90210 Network. I've been in Beverly Hills, a good business resident for 10 years. 90210 is a zip code that everybody knows. It's the most affluent zip code in the world. And network, because people know me for networking, connecting. So the idea started like, okay, so now I have a zip code, right, that I don't need to promote, 90210, right, and network. So now I have an amazing partner, Axel Tillman, the chair of venture, that he came up with this fantastic idea. He didn't say, Ashkan, not network. And by the way, I didn't get it first. It was net work. Huh? Wow. I go, oh, good. I communicated with him. He said, this is who you are and your team and everybody works with you. They really do the work, whether it comes to they want results, profit. They have partners like Sam Haas. They want financial results, real estate. We have many people. And my work is I've created a platform that allows masters and experts to come in to only do what they're good at, right? So clients and our friends that are part of 90210 can have the net what they're looking for. So that's how I started, 90210 Network, and became with only 3 verticals. Why 3 verticals? Number one, being, we love people. We wanted to have a very small, interactive, hands-on, society, right? Because without people, okay, I have the best business in the world. I started it today, but I don't have anyone. If I don't have anyone, how am I gonna work? So people are the when you have a business or anything, the two most important things are the people and the demographics you're going to bring, and two, how you're going to do it online and offline, position of the business. So we have an amazing society that, it's invite only, and um, people can come join, and it's very simple. We have the individual program and corporate program. So that's the first one. And again, we bring all of our horses, we bring all of our power of the past 25 years into that. The second vertical, it's actually media, like today. Now, why did we choose media? Growing up, I was really always upset that my father cannot see, and for sure he could see better than anyone, but, he really couldn't see. And somehow, I'm a very good listener. I, I wanted a platform that through visual arts, you can bring the maximum marketing, branding, positioning result for people. That's why we chose media, right, versus podcasts or etc. We chose media to take our wonderful members and friends and colleagues and collaborators through the channel of media, because there's nothing on earth stronger than visual media, whether it's on Facebook Live or it's like channels on anywhere. That's where it's going right now, and it is, and that's like the end. And the last vertical, business. And our business, we handle special real estate. Our partner that handles that is my cousin, actually, Mr. Mansour Tabibnia. We have a financial area, for lots of you guys know Mr. Sam Haas, he handles that, of course. And then we have ventures, which we welcome projects. And again, Axel Tillman is, of course, not only the chair of business, but is also the head of our ventures. And this is a good example you brought, that simply I chose an amazing zip code with network, and now we have a platform for people to join, right? And again, it's going to be filtered that they can clearly be positioned for maximum exposure, ROI, and goals. And thank you again for this opportunity to tell you about this 90210 network today.
Thank you so much. And we're having so many amazing comments. I think Marat says, Ashkan for 90210 Mayor Beverly Hills. I think that's so amazing. And I just want to see if there's any questions out there from our audience that we can ask Ashkan. He has just been so brilliant and so elegantly just sharing with us, how he's able to connect. And now through his passion of connection and positioning, he's, launching 90210 Network in February, I believe, is when you're going to have your pre-launch.
Actually,
Okay.
let me say that. As it's a very comfortable conversation. I'm very comfortable, by the way. You make me very comfortable. It's just I feel like at home. I'm not pressured. I love this conversation system that you guys started with. Conversations are easy. Interviews, I don't know. I get shy. So as far as comfortable conversation, 90210 Network, it took us 2 years, right? Because it's not me. When people say Ashkan, it's not me at all. I know how to create an amazing platform that is very simple, okay? And I know how to have an ecosystem that, I had an organization, Higher Connection, that had 49 divisions. I know how to make sure many, many things works together at the same time. So when you ask me, 90210 is going to be the best of the net. Actually, we reverse it. We're going to have the net of the best coaches, experts, business, finance and ventures, and then, of course, empowerment. And thank you for this big question. Way how to help people, help humanity with all their goals. A friend of mine, Prince Dr. Olympia, has his new vision of 15 Olympia of arts. These are the ways we're going to be able to help others to reach these destinations. And we are in pre-launch. We started January, so today's day 18. And by the way, we are very comfortable. We are not rushing. We have given ourselves 90 days, right? Okay. Again, I have to give a big thanks to Axel Tillman. He really I gave him like hundreds of pages about myself and about what I did before. And I do not know how he took everything and made it very simple, like the 10 pager. And then we're going to have this same presentation started January 1st all the way to April 1st. Okay, this first quarter, the 90 days, and there is a formula that I've used called I am. Everyone loves that one, right? I am, right? And I took it from Bible. The only difference is I am, we put I for initiation, okay,
Mhm.
A for action, and M for manifestation. By the way, it works for anything that you want to do.
I love
So we initiated for over 2 years, and now we are in the second phase, which is action, to make sure that the very easy and simple three verticals within the 90210 platform, it's going to be cohesive, ecosystem friendly, manifest properly by April 1st. And I just want to thank him and yourself, Michelle. You were a big part of it. You helped over a year with some of those wonderful techniques that you have, how you help with corporate, corporate, and I had probably another 50 to 100 people that really have helped over the past 2 years to help me manifest, hopefully, this 90210 network in these three simple verticals.
One of the things I'm learning, it sounds like it's more of a community and tribe. It's not just about you, right? 9021 Network is not about you, because
Oh
we do
no,
call you Mr. 9021 Network, but it's really about the people, right? It's about the collaboration. And it sounds like over the last 2 years, you've been just really connecting with folks who have the same heart and want to do, not only do better in their business, but do better for community. So, is there anything else you like to add that we haven't talked about today? I mean, I've learned so much. Like I said, I've seen people saying, thank you for sharing the three verticals. You just given us so much nuggets and value about really how to not only build a business, but, build a platform, or even, you might be a charity of some sort. I know you work with charities too. So, is there
I
anything else
saw
like, yeah,
I
you
saw
said,
I saw a glimpse of two questions I tried to answer.
okay, let's
I'm
see if we
telling
can
you,
bring up the questions real quick. Let's
you
see.
guys, listen, I think I saw, you
Yeah,
guys
here
are
we go.
so good with this system, with the Los Angeles Tribune and the way you guys using stream, so perfect. I say I never, you guys know, I give three for, there's no fail. Three is like, we need to work on it. Five is okay. Seven is good. And nine is very good. I never have given 10. You guys get 10. 10.
Thank you.
It
Thank
is,
you
yeah.
so much.
And the two questions that I saw quickly,
Yeah,
one,
here's one is like Ava. She says, how would being a part of the 902 network benefit a business that are not
great
in the
question.
Los Angeles area? That's a great
Okay,
question.
so great question. Our focus, as we also, as you guys heard also through my interview, 90210 network is just, it has not, I didn't make it for me. I made it for my very close friends, and they have mastered or they're expert of the area. Okay, and they also need a vertical lift through media. And also, we have made it for others, how others can connect to us. We have over 100 partners. We call them channels. So the first year, we're going to be a little bit selfish. Okay, we're going to be selfish, and we're going to give lots of love and care to our close friends, to people that are in Los Angeles, Beverly Hills, California. We're going to give him more attention because it's very hands-on, it's very interactive. And as the year progresses to 2023, our goal is we want to have 100 individual partners with us. Okay, and also we want to have 10 corporate partners for this first year, and we want to give him so much. Okay, we want to give him so much that they practically, they cannot believe why they're getting so much value, right? So that's the idea. But people from all over the world, they can participate right now because of those 100 partners and channels that we have, such as Michelle Wilson, the Momopreneur, Mo from Los Angeles Tribune. We have Third Merchant Films, right? So we have 100 partnerships with 100 channels. So when people come to us, see, we don't want to, we are not saying we know everything. Okay, what we know how to curate a platform that is very clear in the things we talked about. And then without them wasting time, like somebody says, actually is a friend of mine from our Jewish communities, I'm writing a book. He said, Ashkan, when we come to you to connections, you always send us to the right people, right? So exactly, this is why we created 9210, so people can come in clearly. And if they're a member, of course, we're gonna make him very, very spoiled, right? And from there, they're gonna have immediate connections and many, many other things. So this gentleman I said from Jewish community, when he said, "Oh, I heard that you have amazing connections, and I heard this and that," I said, "Yeah." So David Fagan, So now imagine if I didn't know David Fagan. So now this gentleman is going to get a chance to be introduced to David Fagan, right, directly, and then he's the master of PPP, publication, presentation, and presentation. And again, I just the other day, a person, her name is Teresa, my new friend, and she was one of the biggest executives at Microsoft for the business development. So she asked me, for her daughter, Ashkan, I heard that that's what you do. You do master life planning, strategy, connecting. So I said, Mo Rock, and Michelle with their team in Ignite, and Natalie at Los Angeles Tribune. So it's two good examples. Everybody can connect to us throughout the world, but our emphasis is really, for the first year, is mostly local, Beverly Hills, Hollywood, maybe California, just because what I said, you always have to help yourself and help your house, and then help your community, and then after you come into your city, and then your state, and then your country, and then globally, in that order. But sometimes you can use media to reach others that you don't know without taking that magic away. There was also a question here that if somebody wants to start their profile on how do they start, it's very important. Everybody has a first name, last name. First of all, make sure you guys get the .com, not .io. A lot of people forget to get example, michelewilson.com, ashkantabibnia.com. Get that. It's worth $1 billion to you. Get that, number one. Number two, make sure you have an adjective. Now we know Michelle is the mompreneur, right? Ashkan, the strategist. So when you have the adjective, what you do is create a persona funnel, not a website. So what you do is, I love that question that she put on. It doesn't matter how many things you do. Some of us are entrepreneurs, serialpreneurs. We do like 10 things, 6 things, 5 things. It's fine. And we can finish with this. We call this persona. What you do, you write down, what is my name? There. Your name is your legacy. And then your adjective. Number 3, you have to make sure that your name is available same. If you're an author, speaker, remember, the product is you. The service is you. The podcast is you. Facebook and LinkedIn, they encourage you to put your real name. If you put something else, people don't know you. They know. They want you. Not because when you come, everything, all your good people and all your jobs and your best of comes there too. They know that. So you make your name, you make your adjective, you get all the social, even if you don't want to use them, get them under that name, get them all ready. And then depends if you are, friendly, at 30s, 40s, 50s, start with Facebook. It's very good to start. Facebook is very powerful, 1.82 trillion people, 2 billion people there. And, if you are, you want to do, as far as image, maybe your fashion, depends. It's very visual. You can use Instagram. If you want to reach lots of people that are very happy, TikTok is very good. People are happy there. So you have to be, but the way you start, your name, your last name, or a special name. A special name. Come up with a special name. Get that clear. And then when people go, you give a business card out. Example, let's say Ashkan Tabibnia. The way you give the business card, persona would be like this. On one side, you put your first and last name and the adjective, example, the strategist. On the other side, you put only ashkantabibnia.com.
Wow.
And then no phone number. Why? Everywhere you go, and make sure, I don't know about this digital, people say, I don't have a business card, only my phone. Don't do that. People like to take something with them, okay, home. If somebody influential, you give them a nice business card, nice one, okay, metal. They're not going to put that away. Make a nice business card. And what it's going to do to them, if they are interested to work with you or any reason, you are telling them the only way you can is go to my .com. So example, michelewilson.com. As soon as that opens up, your best picture, maybe a reel of 2 minutes who you are, your adjective, and then it goes down. You can have immediately, if it's business profile persona, you can have, let's say you do 4 things. You put your links of your businesses so people can go right into your business. And then after that, you have to talk about your, who you are, some of your personal interests. Let's say if you're a chef, if you're, people have to see that. And then write down, you put your bio, you put your interviews, you put your, so make sure it's like a sales funnel. So they see you, they see your reel, they see your adjective big, and then, it just keeps going down. And then, it doesn't end, just go down to the end, because why? That's important if people are interested in you first, and then they want to find out what is it you do. This is so simple. People forget. I tell some of my very C-level people, practically, especially if you have done so much, if you have become a master, expert, guru, the time now is what I did to the lady we talked about. The time now is to put the shine on you, and that's called legacy work. So your legacy, what they're going to do, your name is important. God forbid, after 120 years, when we go, what they put under, they put your name, right? So your name is the most, again, you can change your name as you like, it's not a problem. You can add middle names, it's not a problem. But once you do, example, Ava Manuel, right? That's her name. People know for that. That's the most important. It's not your social security. So on .com, you get your name, and then you create your funnel, and then you give out, say, I am, Ava Manuel. And then if somebody wants to know about her, there's no number. They have to go to the website and they start on the top, her adjective, her video, and then, her businesses, and then about her goes all the way down to the end. She can put whatever she wants, a funnel, it doesn't end. And that's one powerful tool that kind of brings everything, especially entrepreneurs, CEOpreneurs, brings everything under themselves. And it's like a technique that Facebook makes us write Ashkan Tabibnia. And then, I put, I'm good at this, I'm good at that. I also bring some of my businesses. I make a page, I make a group. They make us, when we are there, to bring all our best. So it's time for us to do that for ourselves.
Wow, I love, what you're saying, keeping it simple is amazing. And I love the acronym I am, is basically you're saying start with I and just really understanding who you are, action and the manifestation. But what you said was so powerful is starting off with your name, and it's about legacy work, right? We're working with people, you're communicating, right? We're connecting with people, not with so much the brand. People want that human connection. That's what I'm getting out of our conversation today, and just keeping it very simple with your name. I love that that last tip that you gave us. So I just want to thank you so much for just coming and sharing with us all the information. You are so powerful, and the wisdom that you shared today. I know for me, I'm going to take it away, and I hope our audience is going to take it away.
It was a conversation.
That
Today
was definitely a conversation.
it was a full-blown conversation. I do want to answer the last question that it's not, look, I'm just Ashkan Tabibnia. We are just who we are. One thing that is important, as you see, reaching success is not just money. Money is for some people, for some other people is knowledge, some people is life mastery. So it depends success, how you rate that. But when you reach your mastery in your success, the mastery only starts at that time. Then you have all the time. If you have time for your friends, you can take their phone, and you're not so much Zoom and go look at my calendar. Sometimes you pick up the phone, you answer people. That's the degree. That's really, see, some people become an expert. But if you want to become a master or a guru at what you're good at, you have to reach a level which is yourself. And then at that time, there is time, and everything you share with everyone, it's open, it's not restricted. If it's restricted, and again, for business, I understand certain hours, this and the other, but if it's restricted, you're an expert. You're an expert. You're not a master or a guru yet, right? The gurus, I have many mentors now. So I have guru this, guru that. I have that for whatever I want to learn. I go to the master of that. So keep it humble and answer people. Put time for them. Dedicate. If you're so good at packages, whatever you do, every 10, give two for free for people who cannot afford it. So every 10, give out two. And of course, filter, make sure, they can. But it's really the art of giving. Thank you for this. There's things we do in our MLP practice, master life planning. We have like 50 arts of this and that and the other. And again, I'm so happy with this. I want to thank you actually, Michelle. I want to thank you and the whole team with Ignite family, Los Angeles Tribune, Mo, Rock, and Natalie, and all of their team, because without collaborative effort of both of you guys, you could not have led me. By the way, you remember when you told me about, I said, what?
Yeah,
And then,
Lit is our sister project
Ignite.
where we, it's just about leaders and
And
transformation.
Ignite.
Yes,
You did ignite my essence for sure today. You
we're
brought
igniting.
the
And
best out of me, for
thank you
sure.
for being like a lit. You're a leader in transformation. Thank you for sharing all your wisdom with us today, Ashkan. And definitely, I know there was a question about 90210. It is a global platform, but you are starting at home. So, but still, you can reach out to Ashkan by just going to 90210 Network. And just thank you so much. And we would love to have you back because, as I said, you just have that giving heart. I love what you talked about. It's the art of giving, and we're all about service. And you answered that question, our question, the big question. It's just really starting with one person, helping one
I do
person.
want to finish up everyone with something that was just learned from one of my mentors. And some of my mentors, they do not want to be discovered. This rabbi taught me this one lesson, that life is like a breath, it's like a wave, it's like a heart, up and down. So my takeaway for you guys is everything that you do during the day, your business, and whether you're just starting or you are in your business or you're going to your next business, everything, okay, it's like a breath. There is a time to exhale, and there's a time to inhale. Sometimes I have a creative week, and a week after I just relax. I just exhale. I don't inhale. Do that. During out the day when you see that there's so much going on, just stop, because remember, a wave goes and comes back. Everything in life is going and coming back. This is also a Kabbalah idea. Everything is running and returning. So when you have that sequence all day, like a breath, like a wave, whether with yourself or your business or your partners or your ventures, it will work. It will work, and it is just going to become more flexible and zen, like breathing.
I love it. Like breathing, and breathing gives us life. So taking it in and releasing it and taking time for ourselves. So thank you so much for joining us today,
Pleasure.
Ashton.
And
It was
thank you.
phenomenal. Thank you so much. And I just want to thank everyone for joining us today. And I just want to remind you that next Wednesday, Ignite Your Essence with Michele A at 5 p.m. That's Pacific Standard Time. And we are just so excited that you've joined us today. And we're here Wednesdays and Thursdays to help you ignite your essence. So thank you. And till next week, so long.